Okay, this will be fun.
Good morning and welcome back to the Coaching Support Summit. So I decided to do this summit in order to give people tools, and not me to give them, to interview people that will give people tools for wherever they are right now in their lives. We're all being affected by the craziness of the world at the moment, and all of us in different ways. So while some people are dipping in and out of the emotional wellness tips, other people are finding that they're almost forced to go online because classes are online, and we're not all born socialites like my guest today. It's not. We're all have our own unique talents and abilities, but suddenly being forced to go online is certainly challenging a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to bring on the wonderful social butterfly herself, Helena Gilhooly. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I hope I can live up to it now.
Well, you see, the thing is, you already do live up to it, because anytime anyone goes near Twitter and they're on a hashtag hour that Helena's on, and their guest on a hashtag hour, they end up trending in Ireland. So
Well,
we all know that you're doing something right. So I suppose that's what I kind of wanted to have the conversation about is, Helena, how would you give people advice to be social these days? And even if people are, actually online anyway, there's twofold question actually, so it'll be a long conversation. So, secondly as well, we might be online, but the online market, or the online is now flooded. So how to stand out? So I suppose let's start off with what advice would you give to people about being online now, if they're just new to it?
well, similar to what you said, a lot of people now are thrown into the online world. They haven't got a clue about it. I mean, most of my job, what I would do is I would be that person's presence online, and they would go off and do their ordinary job. Now they're at home 24/7. They don't need anybody else to do it. They want to do it themselves now because they want to keep up with what's going on with the virus and everything else. So what I would say to people is, don't be afraid. Everybody, there's a huge amount of people in the same boat. A lot of people are just learning now about social media because they have to, not because they want to, not because they need to, but because they have to, because you know they want what's going on, they want to be able to look at themselves, they want to be able to see what everybody else can see and interact as well, but a lot of people now have kind of put a halt on their business
Mm.
because obviously nobody is really doing business at the moment. So it's really, really hard to stand out at the moment, because everybody is online. Literally, the world and his mother is online at the moment. And I'd say the majority of them are on Twitter because it's so fast with the updates. So they're constantly on Twitter. So there's a lot more people, and it is really hard to stand out. One of the things I would say is, first of all, don't try and be anybody else online. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken, as they say. You know, if you're the same person in person as you are online, you have a better chance of a momentum going. Creating your persona online, you have a better chance of keeping to yourself as much as you can, your personality, I mean, as much as you can. Um, One of the things that people forget is social media is about being social.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about finding people that you know, that you like, that you admire, that you want to follow, that you want to find out what is going on. You want all the bad news 24/7. I found that actually this week has been quite overwhelming with all the bad news, because I'm on, from 7 in the morning till 11 at night. I have absorbed all that scary information, and 11 o'clock at night I'm finding myself suddenly emotional about what's going on at the moment, so, and I'm well used to being online. So for somebody new to come on to social media, it's a bit scary. I would say take it in chunks. I would say do it a little bit at a time. You not be full on. If you're not used to being online full on, you can get down a rabbit hole, and it can be very hard to get back out of it then again, and then switch the brain off later on that night as well.
Yeah, so true. And I mean, I think that's a great tip about being yourself online,
Yeah,
because what do you find when you're being yourself online? Obviously, you're going to attract people that like you.
yeah. But what happens is, taking away what's going on at the moment, if you are trying to be something else online and then a different person, two don't coincide. They're not it's like two halves of the same person. So like being yourself in person and being yourself online is the presence online, because people know you're not fake. people know you're not just all mouth. People know, you know, that you're the same when you meet you for a cup of coffee as you are when you're typing for an hour online.
Sure. And so, you know, what would your advice be for people for content creation? What would you say to people to share these days? I mean, you know, personally, I'm not sharing an awful lot. Well, I had minutes, so I'm sharing the odd article about coronavirus, but I'm
Yeah.
not going down sharing. I'm not going down a rabbit hole every day, and I really don't listen, or read an awful lot about it, because I don't want to get sucked in emotionally either.
Well,
So, what
yeah.
would you say to people about, you know, niching or whatever niche they're in? What would you say to people about content?
I would say keep as much as you can to your normal content. A lot of like your work stuff if you can. I would say share as much positivity, because you've only got to follow the hashtags to see all the bad news if you want to, but people are just finding it very, very overwhelming. So, you know, put out the good stuff. Put out, you know, the odd funny meme, and not insensitive ones, but you know, funny ones that will give people a bit of a giggle throughout the day. Like, you know, I have a few WhatsApp groups, and constantly there's jokes coming in, because we constantly want to break it up, you know, and some of them are a bit rude, some of them a bit risque, some of them are very funny, some of them are, in their simplicity, that they're very, very funny, like, you know. But I would say don't go heavy with all the bad stuff whatsoever, like, you know, article, but if you have a mix of it, like your work stuff, one or two important articles on the virus, and then some funnies in between to break it up. So it's not too, because people will switch off. Because I think now, after what, this will be the third week really into it,
Yeah.
what we are, Ireland, you know, they've had enough of all the doom and gloom. They want facts and figures, but they don't want it 24/7.
And I totally agree with you there. And you know, one thing that you did say that I found as well is that you know, you said something about insensitive, and that, you know,
Yeah,
somebody did actually, I saw it in a group I'm in as well, or somebody commented about something that, you know, they thought was very insensitive for someone to have posted, and but they wasn't actually put it, you know, with that intention. But like, we don't know what everybody else is going through right now.
exactly.
So for
That's
something that mightn't trigger me, but
it.
I mightn't have the same backstory. So I think that's a very important point you made
Well,
there.
that's it. Yeah, you know, because like we don't know, like, I mean, there's nobody, I don't think, family is going to escape from this virus. So we don't know what people are going through in the background. They mightn't always put it up there. There's, unfortunately, there's a bit of a stigma about if they have it, like, you know, and then people at the very start were getting a bit of abuse about it, I believe. So when you put up something, if somebody has gone through that, they would be quite upset about that. So I would avoid, if possible, like, you know, the insensitive memes, or the bad ones, is what the only way I can describe it.
Sure. And also, like, you know, I mean, I'm at home too, and the boys obviously are at home, and there are parents, I guess, you know, struggling with this as well, trying to balance work and being a parent, and trying to homeschool, and et cetera, et cetera. So I suppose that goes back there again, though, to the point of what you said earlier, as well as chunking up your day. So,
Yes.
you know, do you find that you could give advice to people as to what would be the best time to be on Twitter, let's say, or any of the other social media platforms? Is it client different for every client, or what do you find in your
Yeah.
experience?
Most of my clients are all different ones. I usually start anytime around 7, half 7 in the morning time. And depending on what area of out of the world or the country that it could be, I would be posting different things, or engaging with people on different uh, aspects of whatever's going on in the day. It really depends on your client, and would they be online at 7 o'clock in the morning. Not everybody's clients are. Most people now are up a bit later. Some people are trying to keep a routine. Most people are taking the extra hour or two in bed, and if you're not, I would say take the extra 2 hour in bed. You know, the days are long enough at times, like, but I would structure it towards um getting to your clients, go by your own routine. So if you're online from 9 o'clock in the morning, mostly your clients will be on roughly around the same time, like. So I do a schedule of some in the morning, take a little break, some in mid-afternoon or mid-morning, take a little break. You know, as I said, like, do it in chunks rather than full on 24/7. That's what I do. In what I'm doing is I'm on quite a lot, but I do find it quite overwhelming with all the stuff that's going on at the moment. But set a little routine for yourself, give it a bit of time, and then come away from it so your brain can relax, because your brain gets fried. And what happens is you just keep going down and nothing to do with what you're supposed to be doing online. How many people, hands up here, who have stuck to what they're supposed to be doing online and not gone down a rabbit hole? So when
that's the difficulty, Helena. You're right. You know, and it's especially for someone like yourself who manages multiple accounts for people. You know, you obviously have to be very careful of your energy as well around it, and not to be sucked in emotionally in anything. And obviously, you're looking at different niches for people too, when you're creating content in different niches. So you're exposed to an awful lot, a wider than I suppose than a lot of people that are just looking after their own accounts.
Yeah, the audience where I'm reaching is literally all sides of the world, like, you know. So I'm hearing stuff from America, from Europe, from China, and what have you. So I like, there's so much goes in that it's sometimes you have to remember where you are in the world or what time zone you're in. So like, you're not getting too bogged down with it all, like, you know. So that's what I do, is to try and if I give it chunks and then take away chunks, it gives the brain time to rest, and you're not getting sucked in, like, you know.
And what would you say to people maybe to schedule, or what's your whole
Well,
philosophy on scheduling posts?
I'm not a big scheduler because I'm an engager, and engager is meant to engage with people there and then. So like, what my rule of thumb would be, if somebody asks a question at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're gone on about your business and you don't come back till 9 o'clock that night, that person. So if you're going to put out posts, don't put out posts that need an answer if you're not going to be there to answer them.
Okay.
If you're going to schedule a post, yeah, I know it's very hard. Believe me, I know. If you're going to put out posts, put out information ones rather than ones that have a question attached to them as such. So then you won't have to, if you don't have the time. Well, they do now, but if you were talking normally about your Twitter presence, if you don't have the time to go back on to later on that evening, there's not going to be 10 questions waiting for you. But 9 times out of 10, if you're going to schedule a post and there's a question in it, and you have an answer within an hour or two, people will move on. They have no patience nowadays.
No, and that's very true, actually. I know I did look up to heaven because I do schedule. Now, I haven't been great scheduling, but I still find that, you know, I mean, I wasn't on Twitter promoting this even last night because I had so much else on. And, you know, so like, I think having someone helping you with your social media, just because we're all at home now, doesn't mean that we don't need the help, because, oh my goodness, I mean, to try to keep up with everything is, and I go through phases sometimes on Instagram, and I think, now Instagram isn't my preferred, it's not where my ideal clients are, but I still like to have a presence there, let's say. And maybe they are, but you know what, I can't be everywhere. And sometimes I'm great on Instagram, and I might be great on Instagram for a week or two, and then I'm like, I always come back to Twitter though. I never leave Twitter really. Well, I do at night when I go to sleep. I don't do that. But I just, as a platform, I love it because I think, actually, I'm going to let you say, why do you love Twitter? You know, why is that the one that you have found that you love to be on?
I love Twitter for the instant gratification of it, because 9 times out of 10, if you put out a tweet or you put out a question or you put out something, people will come back to you fairly quickly, and it's that interaction that I love, where you can't get that from a scheduled post.
But that's, you see, that's what you have. That is your uniqueness, isn't that? You love that. I mean, you were made for Twitter because you have the love and the passion for it, and like, that is not everybody's cup of tea, and I think that's why that you're phenomenal with what you do. Now, also, let's talk about hashtag hours. To hashtag hour or not, what's your opinion on that, Helena?
Well, you know me, I love the hashtag. I love the hashtag hours. I'm admin on a couple of the hours, the Mead Biz hour on the Monday nights at 9 o'clock, and the We're All Business on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I'm admin on both of them. And I just love, again, the intensity, the instantaneous, you know, answers to tweets and what have you. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help businesses to have more of a presence online. Yes, the ideal thing is to get them trending. That's one of our goals. But it's also about bringing awareness to them, that people can see, you know, they see the hashtag, they'll say, oh, what's that about? And they're interested, and they're nosy, they'll go in and they'll click in and find out, oh, I didn't know they done that. Oh, I didn't know they were there in this part of the country. And really, it's just, I love the fast-paced moving of the tweets. I love the people coming on. I love to see new people coming on, because it means they're taking to social media and seeing, you know, they're stepping their toes into a water they may not have been before. So, and when they get a warm welcome, they'll come back the next week and they'll support you. And then eventually they may end up being a star business themselves. So they may be looking for that support as well from people, like, you know.
That's wonderful. So that's We're All Business, basically.
We're All Business. Yeah. We're All Business at 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights. That one at the moment has over about 22,500 or 21,500 followers. So it's quite a large account. to be managing. And I'm forever putting out there, you know, if people want a retweet, feel free to tag. Feel free to tag, because that's the idea of it. Is
So it is really all about supporting. Sorry, I don't know if there's your Wi-Fi or mine. It's a bit. So yeah, it's all about supporting that hashtag hour, and it's wonderful, and fair play to you for doing it. I mean, I was a guest on it as well, and it's great, for making like Mary that's on here. She interviewed me earlier, but I know Mary from Twitter. Well, I didn't know Mary from Twitter. I knew her. I knew the handle, let's say. So I mean, the amount of people, like, and Aoife as well, and Sandra. I mean, now I've met Aoife and Sandra and yourself offline, but I met you first through Twitter. So I mean, and but business is done as well.
Business is done as well on Twitter, and
if you do it right, Helena.
If you do it right, you do have to do it right. But don't forget, at the moment, so many people are on now, and they're only starting on Twitter, so they're all learning. Everybody's only learning, like, you know. So they're at the very, very start of it all, where we, yourself and myself, will be old hands at this stage, I suppose, if you like. And I don't mean we're old, I just mean that we're well used to
clarify that.
I'm just checking. But like, they don't understand what to do and what not to do, like, you know. If I could give a little few tips for that, what I would say to them is your bio. Check your bio. Make sure it's about you, and you have, like, if you have a website, put it in. If not, a place, if you're selling something, a place where you do your sales. So be it Facebook, be it Instagram, whatever you do your sales, make sure there's a way for them to contact you that way. Put a little bit about yourself in there. A little bit, like I have, like, the sparkles in mine, because everybody knows that I love sparkles, like, you know. A pinned post. This is my bugbear. I loved pinned posts. People these days have got very, very lazy on social media, but I love a pinned post. I love a good pinned post. But what I love even better is a fairly recent pinned post.
Yeah.
People that, if they hit your timeline, and they look at your first tweet, which is going to be a pinned post, and if it's from 2007, they're thinking you're not online, or 2017, whatever. They're thinking you're not online, so they won't bother going down to see how active you are unless they're interested in you. So update your pinned post, even if it's the same pinned post regularly, but just update it, I would say, every couple of months, so that it's not looking old.
That's a great tip, Helena. That's a great tip.
Because so many people now, especially now, because they're all clamoring to be online, if they see the old, like, I've seen people lines.
Sorry, Helena, I think you've broken up there. Can you say that again?
Sorry, I beg your pardon. What I'm saying is, if you haven't tweeted since 2012, or your pinned tweet is from 2012, people are going to move on.
Yeah.
They like something a bit more recent. They like something a bit more fresh.
And who to follow and who not to follow?
Well, it depends. Stay away from trolls. Stay away from argumentative people.
How do we know who the troll is, though?
Oh, they'll let you know fairly soon. You know, they'll start picking at you. They'll start having little digs at you fairly soon, or else it might be quite. You'll suss them out fairly quickly. One tip: you will never win with a troll. They will always come back with smart answers, and the best thing to do is either mute, delete, or block. They're your three options with them. You don't even bother, getting into it with them, like, you know. Who to follow? I admire you. And I've seen you grow from, we've met through Twitter 5-6 years ago. I would look up your followers and I'd see who I would have something in common with. Because if I admire you, most likely you're going to have people that I would respect as well. And that would be a way of growing your following, an easy way of growing your following. What I would say is engage with people, talk to people, or tweet out to people. If you don't know people, that's okay. And it's okay to say hello to people you don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go bombarding them with tweets and what have you, but I would say hello and see. If they engage back with you, you know they're open to engaging with you as well.
Yeah, I like that, actually. I like that. And actually, you know, I was thinking yesterday about the first time I met you. It was at an Irish Biz Party, which is now changed names to Galway. Yeah. And like, I was so excited going to that event. I'm in Galway. At the time, I didn't really, I wasn't really very as forward as I am. That's not the word. As what am I trying to say? I wasn't as big in my business as I am now, for want of a better word, again, on Twitter even. So I was like, I said to the girl I was going up with, oh my God, this girl called Busy Tweeters, and she's so nice. And I'm, I remember, this is the truth now, I reached out and said, oh, I'm going up to, maybe we'll meet. But you were like one of the only people that I knew I could meet there. And,
Yeah,
a lot, when I went there, it was wonderful because I did meet you. You were sitting in front of me actually,
that's
with
right.
another girl from Wexford. But it was great for me because I felt actually more, I felt like I belonged more when I knew someone, because to me at the time, this was all like, wow, this is a huge, big conference. And I didn't know anyone. I wasn't online as much. I was online, and but I was kind of clambering to find where I belonged and to find a community. So, I mean, like that, when you said, like, I admire you. You were the one I reached out to. And that's going back, I'd say, a good 5 years ago.
Easily,
And that's
easily.
great. Like, I think that's what you can, the power of Twitter. Now, my son warned me once. He said to me, when I was going up to stay in Kildare with a few of you here, and my son said to me, where did you meet them? And I said, oh, I met them on Twitter. And he said,
Yeah.
you're meeting someone you met online.
I remember that. Man, that was a great night. That was a brilliant night. I remember that night. But do you remember how we actually met, though? Through a hashtag.
Yes.
That's how we met. We actually met through a hashtag. And do you remember? I don't know. I think we had met at this stage. I remember you coming up to Dublin, and you were going somewhere, and I picked you up from the train station. I didn't know you very well, but I knew you
Yes.
through the hashtag. And I remember picking you up at the train station, and we were going to whatever event was going on. I can't remember which one it was. We've been to so many of them now, Dolores, at this stage. But that
Yeah.
was how we met, was through the hashtag. And like, people don't realize the power of a hashtag. The majority of my very, very good friends now, I met through a hashtag. The Irish Bliss Party one was the very first one that we would have met through, and then numerous other ones then after that. But them friendships are still there through business, through friendship, 5, 6 years later.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm in business since 2013.
that says it all, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
about the power of Twitter. Like I like yourself. I mean, I don't run Twitter accounts for people. I have my own community, but I just find that I love it so much. It's my favorite platform, and that's why I wanted to have you on as someone that does run accounts for other people, so that people know that they can reach out. That, like, all we're
yeah,
talking about is wonderful, but that does not happen overnight. It
no,
took me. I when I was on Twitter first, I was sharing my blog every week, and nobody ever connected, nobody ever liked it, nobody ever shared it. I didn't care. I suppose I didn't know I should care. I just put it out there thinking, I ticked a box, I have shared it on Twitter.
yeah,
Wow, good for me. But there was no connection because I didn't know what I was doing. It was only after after connecting and learning about Twitter and et cetera. So, I mean, it's great. Where can people meet you if they are looking for someone, if they're looking for help, for training or whatever? What can you offer people is the
but
best
I
way to.
don't do the training part. I don't do the training part because I don't by any means profess to be any sort of expert on it. I know people that do train people, so if anybody's looking for help that way, I can certainly put them in a direction. Emer Duffy will be one that stands out. Melanie Boylan stands out. Who else does Twitter training I can think of? I can't think of any
Now,
more.
come back to you. How can
Oh,
you help people?
well, look at, Busy Tweeters is me. Busy Tweeters is my fourth business, but Busy Tweeters is my second business. And as you know, as I said, I'm about engaging for people, so they can contact me on Busy Tweeters. But also, please, genuinely tag We're All Business or the Mead Biz Hour, the ones that I'm admins on, that I can help share them out. I've always tried to help people because I know what it was like. My first tweet out on Twitter was echo, echo, because nobody answered me, nobody talked to me or engaged with me. And I remember thinking way back then, no clue about Busy Tweeters at the time. God, like, I put it out there, but nobody was engaging with me. What do I do? And you literally just tweet with people.
Yeah,
You have to tag a few people to get to talk to people.
yeah,
You put out a tweet, they're not necessarily going to talk to you if you don't tag a few people
yeah,
to get the chat going. You need to build a momentum, to grow momentum online. You need to like, it's like walking into an online bar and saying hello to people. You're going to say hello to people and have a chat. They're not going to chat with you if you don't say hello. Like, so put out your tweet. It's I would majority of people, I would welcome to Twitter now. If I see newbies struggling, I would definitely welcome them to Twitter. But you need to put it out there that you're there. People are not going to necessarily go look for you, so you have to go look for them. As I said, find the ones that you admire, find the ones that you like. Aoife Gallagher, I see up there, she's another great lady for
yes,
connecting with people as well. Sandra, I love Sandra. I know Sandra. It turns out we lived around the corner from each other in years ago in Cabra. We knew each other from years ago. We didn't know. So, you know, don't be afraid to tweet. Don't be afraid to tag a few people. Don't be afraid to get to know people. And especially now that we're all stuck at home, there's no way to go out and meet people now, really. So you have to do it. Other horns and just jump in. Don't be afraid.
Love it. And thanks very much for coming on. Those we have, Aoife Gallagher, yes, and beautiful skincare, award-winning, multi-award-winning products for Eminence Ireland. You know, like that again.
I love it.
And that's through Twitter there again, that, you know, Aoife's strong presence on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it's tantamount to what a great platform it is. And Sandra with her the wedding lady and all the wonderful service that she offers people, and Mary McHugh with her online psychology. This is the power, and that's why I wanted to bring the expert, the queen of Twitter, the queen of sparkles herself. So Busy Tweeters.
Busy Tweeters is me, and they can find me across all platforms. Twitter is my main one, but people do ask me to help them with Instagram and Facebook as well. And one of the things I want to say about Sandra Losty, I actually went to one of her wedding workshops. And if there's any brides out there listening, I would highly recommend. Now, I'm married and I'm divorced, so like I would be the other side of the coin. But having been to Sandra's workshop, the girl actually had me crying at her workshop. She does a run through for brides and grooms for getting ready on the big day, because there's simple little things about placement of people and different things. But the beauty of her workshop had tears rolling down my face. So I would highly recommend anyone to book for Sandra for a workshop.
Love it. And thank you, Aoife, for your kind words. Yeah, absolutely. I certainly agree that, well, certainly Helena's a powerhouse on Twitter. Helena, thank you so much for sharing. I really, you know, and very valuable tips that you're giving to people. The main things I think I would take away from what you're saying is be social, connect with hashtags and handles. I'm trying to say we're all business.
We're all business.
That is there to actually support small businesses now. Yeah. And if you tag we're all business, Helena, as one of the admins, would share it for you. And that's what, you know, that's what we're trying to do, support each other.
Yes.
And also, you know, maybe, as Helena said, look up we're all business, see when it's on Wednesday night, join it. You can, I'm sure, be a stalker for a week first if you don't want, and have a look and see what's going on. Yeah.
But don't be afraid. I mean, even if they want to DM me and say, look, I'm fairly new, you know, what can I do? And I can guide them a little bit through it, like, you know, to help them through to get over the hump of putting the first one out there. Because I know I'm not great, like, on camera. This is only my second Zoom call, but I have to say I love the Dolores. But like, I know what it's like to be a newbie. Just because I know what I know on Twitter doesn't mean I know everything on all other platforms. But after today now, I'm not so afraid to be on a Zoom call. The other one was a friendly one. This one was more business-like, if you like. But I'm grand. A lot better than what I thought it would be.
Absolutely. I pushed you out of your comfort zone. You have the expertise. You do take the whole charge away from people, and we do have to, at this, you know, always, but we do have to believe in ourselves, because we have a digital footprint, which I always say to people as well. And your digital footprint is a powerhouse. Take Aoife's word. I mean, you do what you say on the tin, you know, and you're supportive about it. You know what, you're not on here, it's not all sales, it's about telling people about a way to start off with, going on a hashtag hour that's actually free.
Yes.
But also in the background, of course, Busy Tweeters is Helena's business if you want to go further with that. Helena, thank you so much, and thank you for all of you who joined. It's been a pleasure to have you on today, and
thank you.
Definitely
truly enjoyed it.
Do not be a stranger to us.
Oh, I won't. I'm here now. You'll have me on again. I want to be on again now.
Wonderful. Look forward to it.
Thank you.